by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
Just one day after the House Speaker threatened to derail the president's State of the Union address, President Trump is coming back with a power play of his own. I'm Mark Liverman in New York, and I'll have more on their back and forth during the longest government shutdown in U.S. history.
Right now, Gallatin County officials run with a specific party. I'm Adair Babin. Stay with us because coming up, I'll let you know if this could change.
Good morning to you. Happy Friday. It is coming up on 6:30. I'm Missy O'Malley with Chet Lehman. Our own Matt Elwell will have our weekend forecast here in just a moment. Our top story, as we've been following it, the historically long shutdown is creating a remarkable back and forth between President Trump and the Speaker of the House.
That's right. CBS's Mark Liverman has the latest on the partial government shutdown, now on day 28.
A day after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi threatened to derail the State of the Union, President Trump came back with his own power play, postponing her visit to U.S. troops abroad.
The President's decision to disclose a trip that a speaker is making to a war zone was completely and utterly irresponsible.
Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff was part of the delegation making the trip to Afghanistan and Brussels. As they were leaving, news came that President Trump denied them the military plane they needed.
The back and forth deal that Speaker Pelosi began really doesn't help anything at all.
In a letter to the Speaker, the President argued the trip is a public relations event. It would be better if you were in Washington negotiating with me to end the shutdown.
I think the actions of the president were petty.
The move comes less than a month after President Trump made his own overseas visit to U.S. troops.
Whatever it takes. I mean, we're going to have a wall. We're going to have safety.
Neither side has showed any readiness to compromise over border wall funding to end the partial government shutdown. The stalemate is tough to hear for the 800,000 federal employees not getting paid.
It's really, really scary to be in a position that you shouldn't have to be in.
Many have started relying on local food banks as they struggle to pay the bills.
This right here means a lot because, I mean, not a lot of people are thinking how hard it's affecting us until they're like, you know what, we don't know how long this is going to be.
Last night, the White House canceled its delegation's trip to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Mark Liverman, CBS News.
Now, Vice President Pence and senior White House advisor Jared Kushner met with Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell Thursday night on Capitol Hill. McConnell told reporters, quote, "We're still discussing the situation," end quote.
Much more to follow.
Absolutely. A situation to discuss right now. A little of the snow we had fall overnight. Roads, depending on where you are, could be a little slick. Be on the lookout.
It could be slick for sure, especially as we've had some of that light snow. It gets driven over, packed down. You turn to ice, and that's what we're seeing on a few of these area roadways. Here's a look at the road conditions. Homestake, Bozeman Pass, and Gallatin Canyon all seeing either snow or slush on the roadways, so watch for those icy conditions with these temperatures into the 20s. I do expect to see some light snow off and on through the morning hours. We're seeing that Bozeman Yellowstone International Airport this morning. Same situation in the mining city, just light snow, but it is enough that we'll see some slick roads. We're going to break down your complete forecast, of course, coming up in just a few minutes.
6:32 now on this Friday. Right now, Gallatin County elected officials run their campaigns aligning themselves with designated parties, Republican, Democrat, Independent, and the such. But that could change after this legislative session.
MTN's Medeiros Babb tells us how the House Bill 129, whether or not officials support it.
There are 56 counties in Montana, of which 11 of them have nonpartisan elected officials. Proposed House Bill 129 would change that by allowing local voters to choose whether or not their officials, such as the commission, treasurer, and clerk and recorder, must be affiliated with a party. County Commissioner Don Seifert said an advantage of having nonpartisan races is that it allows for a larger pool of people, raising the stakes.
I think the interesting thing is that it makes those of us that are running for office run on our skill set and explain our skill set. And so it makes us probably campaign harder to get our message out and what sets us apart from our opponents.
Gallatin County Sheriff Brian Kukin was one of the local officials that went down to Helena to testify for the bill, saying his position really has nothing to do with political party.
When my phone rings or I get an email from a citizen who has a concern, that is not a factor, and it never is, and it never will be. And as sheriff, you know, my job is pretty specific. It's about public safety and it's about making sure that people are safe, and there's no room in that for Republican or Democrat.
If the bill is passed, it does not mean that Gallatin County would automatically become nonpartisan, but instead would allow voters to choose if their elected officials must run under a designated party. In Bozeman, Medeiros Babb, MTN News.
Now, to add on, all 3 of the county commissioners in Gallatin County wrote letters to the legislature in support of the bill. Silver Bow is one of the 11 counties that has nonpartisan officials.
In other headlines here at 6:34, the Bozeman School District will add another deputy superintendent to its administration to adjust for the growth that's been going on. District currently building a second high school and is preparing to build 2 more elementary schools in the near future. Superintendent of Schools Dr. Rob Watson said by adding another position, the first deputy superintendent would cover kindergarten through 5th grades, the second covers 6th grade through 12th.
And so it was really an issue of splitting the supervision of those schools among 2 people. And the way that we're going to make this work is we're eliminating an administrator at central office. We're eliminating the curriculum director position at central office to create the new one.
So with that, the cost of adding the new position will be $30,000. The person who filled the curriculum instructor position plans to retire.
And state Republican lawmakers have laid out their plan to give public schools more money to keep up with inflation. Legislative leaders in the state and Superintendent of Public Instruction, Elsie Arnson, held a news conference in support of House Bill 159. Now, that bill would increase basic entitlement funding for school districts over the next 2 years. Representative Seth Burgley Joliet chairs the House Education Committee. He says that the committee could take action on the bill today. Leaders say they won't want to make districts wait for the funding to be approved.
It's been a priority of ours to get this out of committee as quickly as possible, get it out to our local school boards. They're using this to set their budgets. So in previous sessions, it's kind of become a political football, but we've made it a priority this session to keep politics out of it as much as possible and make sure that our local schools are taken care of.
Governor Steve Bullock's office says that the bill is a start, but it doesn't go very far, enough to improve educational opportunities.
Other news this morning, a Florence man has been identified as a suspect in a Northern California shooting spree that killed a 93-year-old woman.
And investigators say the Florence man was responsible for at least 7 crime scenes during the shooting rampage. CBS 13 in Sacramento reports 48-year-old Stanley Stepanski gunned down the woman in Placer County on Tuesday night. Investigators say they have no known relationship between the gunman and the woman. Investigators believe that Stepanski was responsible for 7 crime scenes before being shot and killed by authorities. Now, a man was shot while driving his truck and another person was shot in Loomis. Both are expected to be okay. Now, Stepanski also shot a police dog, and the dog's doing okay. In 2017, Stepanski was arrested on felony charge of assault with a weapon after he allegedly became angry that his mother didn't give him $400.
Other news now, Montana State Auditor Matt Rosendale's staff gave a presentation to lawmakers yesterday on the factors that go into prescription drug costs. Rosendale's office is making an argument for a bill aimed at driving down medication costs. Auditor's office regulates health insurance for Montana. Rosendale says prescription drug spending is about 20% of overall health care cost. The auditor's office is proposing to address cost by putting new requirements on pharmacy benefit managers who contract with drug manufacturers, pharmacies, and insurers. Any savings would be passed on to consumers.
We spent a lot of time scouring through the data, make sure we identified the place to apply the pressure, and the best way for us to pursue that is to go through the insurance companies and manage the pharmacy benefit managers who are driving the cost up dramatically.
By the way, Rosendale's proposal, Senate Bill 71, is scheduled for its first committee hearing coming up on February 1st.
And this is some exciting news. Finally here on your Friday, the Heeb's grocery store opened a new location yesterday for the first time since 1957.
Yeah, the new location on Highland in Maine was open for business for the first time at 9 o'clock yesterday morning. Store doubles its size, going from 10,000 square feet to 20,000. Owner Mitch Bradley said he and his wife stood at the front door greeting shoppers. He said people were excited to see the new look, which was their goal in the first place.
And I felt like it was something that the customers would really enjoy. We can think all we want, that we got the greatest idea, but to see that reflected on the customers' faces and their comments, that's the ultimate. That's the best pat on the back you could ever get.
And Bradley said Heaves will no longer be selling tobacco products since the move, with the hopes of staying true to the promise of being a healthier store. I didn't know that was
Congratulations
cool.
to the Bradleys, a family-owned business for a long time, expanding their efforts here in Southwest Montana.
The nicest people you could
Absolutely
ever hope
true.
to meet.
No
doubt
question
about it. It is time for a quick break here on your Friday morning, and boy, do we have a treat for you. 4-time Grammy-winning 8th Blackbird, a phenomenal temporary chamber ensemble from Chicago, with us this morning, telling us about their big performance in the big sky at the Warren Miller Performing Arts Center tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to those interviews, Missy. Meantime, we're going to check in with Nora O'Donnell, see what's coming up at 7 on CBS This Morning.
Good morning. Ahead here on CBS This Morning, we're covering this weekend's snowstorm that will hit more than 1 million Americans. Plus, how airports that have already been affected by the partial shutdown may now see more problems with this weather. And hear from the diver who captured the incredible new pictures of the great white shark known as Deep Blue. Why she's hoping to change the public perception of these predators. Look at those pictures. See you right at 7.